Yes. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a special show here. This is a brand new collaboration. Many of you may already know who this person is, who has the most fabulous hair, by the way. It's very bouncy, very incredible. And of course, this is Lilac Lantern. And are you happy to use your real name, or do you just go by Lilac Lantern?
You can call me Andrea. Yeah, I go.
Well, Andrea of Lilac Lantern is here. This is our first collaboration, and it almost didn't get off to an auspicious start because I managed to forget to send the StreamYard link to Andrea.
I said I'll do the show from the chat.
Thankfully managed to figure it out. So many of you are joining us in the chat, and thank you guys so much for joining us for this new collaboration. And as usual, you guys have sent your questions in advance, so I've got them in the book. Andrea doesn't know what I'm going to ask, so many of these will just be cold reads. But as we know, she is a very talented tarot reader, and we're going to be talking about the subjects as they unfold and sort of getting to know each other at the same time. So we'll just do a few shout outs and then we're going to get stuck in with the show. We'll dive in. So who do we have here? We've got Christina, we have got Teresa Kotson, Electra Storm, Azealia. Oh, so Christina is saying Andrea is the best. Let's clean that up.
I paid her to say that. Thanks, Christina. In the mail.
We've got Deb Marsh, Neptune's other daughter, June Jackson, Paisley, and so many more. So thank you guys for joining us. And obviously the chat is going up. So Andrea, are you ready for the first question?
I'm ready. And may I say thank you for having me on your channel. Thank you. This is so exciting. I love your channel. I love the readings you do. And I can't wait to see what we do tonight.
Thank you. Already the energy is great. I can feel like, oh, there's like a little tingle in the air. So let's start. So we're gonna start with 2 international questions. So that gives you a little heads up. And the first one we're going to talk about is China. Yeah. And then the other questions are going to be about America and all of the, you know what, that's been going on. So just stay to the end, guys. It builds up. So just to give a little context here. So China recently announced and quickly edited that they were going to continue their zero COVID policy, which we know has been causing a lot of supply chain issues and stuff like that, for another 5 years.
What?
Oh. Yes. Yeah. Oh. And I think, absolutely. And I think the Chinese collectively was like, oh.
Yeah.
You can imagine. It went viral on social media almost immediately over there. And the Chinese government have backtracked a little bit. And thank you, Lisa Loves Animals, for your donation. That's a great name.
Thanks.
So I put here, this perfectly illustrates the shadow of Pluto, because you know the USA is going through a Pluto return right now, but the whole world is experiencing Pluto in sidereal Capricorn, which is all about governments, distribution systems, all of that, rules, regulations. So this perfectly illustrates the shadow of Pluto for domination. Sometimes it can even deal with enslavement, but absolute power and control via Capricorn, like I was talking about. And China has a Capricorn ascendant as a nation. So the question here is, how will the Chinese people respond to this alarming predicament? And just your thoughts, Andrea.
Well, I think I'm as caught off guard as probably the people of China, because that would mean, are they indicating that they're going to have lockdowns for 5 years? Right? Like, so sort of what's been happening for another 5 years, because they have a zero tolerance policy, which is quite scary. So is this then I'm having a thought, are they using this as an excuse for their totalitarian behavior towards their people? Right? Keep them in fear, keep them locked up 5 more years. That's really, my heart goes out to everyone in China. My goodness.
And that is just epic, isn't it? By any standards, whatever thoughts anyone have about China, because, you know, they don't enjoy the best reputation. But 5 years? Look what 2 years did to us. Look what 2 years did. Five.
Yeah, Lynn says oppression, exactly. Now, is it the government worried because of the population? So a lot of their big cities have enormous amounts of population versus some of our big cities in North America.
Very true.
Let's see.
See, now you as guest, you get to go first. So
Well, I think
in time, and I'm just gonna shuffle. Oh, I'm being urged to turn. Actually, no, I'm going to use this deck. And I normally pull 5 cards, but pick how many that is comfortable and usual for you.
Okay, so the first cards I'm getting is divine timing. I think their government thinks they're doing the right thing. I don't think this is heaven sent timing. I think it's the government over there. But it's time to cut the cord and let the people free. What I'm glad to see is there is the angel of hope, and then followed by resolution. So I'm vibing that they may say it's 5 years, but there are concessions made. Maybe it's not as strict. Maybe it's not going to be 5 years, but maybe there's some kind of resolution for the people, because I'm really glad to see the angel of hope and resolution. Government thinks they're doing the right thing. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt right now. But for the people, I see some hope, and with this angel of resolution, possibly not as severe as it's been the past 2 years. It just couldn't be. They won't be able to sustain it. It's not right.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and because they're saying that this zero, from what I understand, what we've received here on Western news, they're saying that the zero policy is not only affecting supply chain issues, which we don't need right now because we're dealing with inflation, but they're saying it's actually affecting China's own economy. And it seems to be a bit self-defeating. I understand that there is over 1 billion Chinese people, but still, like, to try and have a zero policy in a population that big,
Possible.
it's just absolutely impossible. So I'll quickly read, but I'll also do some quick readouts here. So so Azealia says hi to us both.
Hi.
And it's some comments about China as well. Oh, so Electra Storm is saying they need to riot. That will be challenging because, as we know, China is a very conservative country by nature, and they are taught obedience from a very early age. But she might have a point. So the card that I get here is it's the 8 of Cups. So there is a sense, could it be that the people of China are just so tired of this that they literally just want to walk away? I mean, I wouldn't blame them. I mean, imagine that, 5 years. Imagine people just thinking 5 more years of this, really? Like, what's the point? What's the point? In the obstacle position, I get the Queen of Swords. So again, this is about, you know, righteous and just decisions, being intellectual, being dispassionate, you know, using good judgment. But it's come in the obstacle position. So in a way, we can interpret it, maybe this is more of a harsh energy. If we see this maybe as a potentially reverse card, as it's in the obstacle, this can even refer to harshness, cruelty. So I think the Chinese people themselves are thinking, like, I think we've had enough of this. You know, they've had the people in the white suits. I don't know if you've seen, which I can't remember what they call them. I think they call them like white blobs or something, or the white blob men or something like that, because they come in these hazmat suits. They've even killed people's pets.
I know. It's awful. It's awful.
And that's the authorities, not the Chinese people, the authorities. The world is looking, but also as well, we know the world card is what? Beginnings and endings, endings and beginnings. So it's almost like Could this be a grand cycle that needs to come to an end? And I'm really actually feeling the Chinese people quite strong, actually. They want to walk away. They feel like the government has been too harsh. They want a fresh start. This to me says they want a fresh start. Why? Because look at this. The Devil card comes out next.
Oh.
And, well, I mean, this card is pretty much bad news. Whenever you see him, yeah, but especially when he's reversed, it's even worse. It can mean like psychotic, like severe control, manipulation, mental illness even. So could this be not only the world seeing China overreacting, but then this could also mean the Chinese people as well. However, the outcome card I get is the Lovers.
Ooh.
So, you know, the Lovers, again, it's all about all kinds of partnership. It can deal with trade, deals, marriage, partnerships of all kinds. So could it be that the Chinese people want to change their relationship with the government, and maybe the government might want to have to change its relationship with the world? And also as well, China is being suspected. Everyone's worried as well about Taiwan as well, isn't it? So we're suspecting their motives, that it's almost like the world is suspecting the motives of their relationship as well with Taiwan. So I think we'll have to see. Would you like to add anything to that, Andrea?
Well, as soon as you said Taiwan, I was like, oh, the divine timing card that I got. Is this a plan of the Chinese government to have everyone on lockdown for 5 years while they try to do other things? For example, invade Taiwan. Very suspicious. And if it's so scary there with COVID, why isn't it like that anywhere else? Why do they think they need to lock everyone down? Is there something we don't know about that haven't told us, or is this a way to suppress their people?
Wow.
Kind of leaning on that.
Yeah. Especially with that, because when I saw that Devil card reversed in between the two, particularly the World card as well and the Lovers, and it's kind of like, it's almost like a kind of a sinister, there could be a sinister shadow motive going on. Yeah. And also as well, if the Lovers is also partnerships as well, what other partnerships are they engaging in with other countries potentially, that might not be up to such good things right now?
Country that starts with an R, maybe, or
for entertainment purposes only, folks. Let's do a few more shout outs, and then you've got one. Perfect. So we've got Sunny Intuition who's here as well. We've got Poetic Justice. Poetic Just Us. Jeff Bailey. God, that's a long name. Brilliant. So we got Helene Robinson. She's saying happy days are here again. Crazy time again. Yeah. And with Luminous Light Work and many more, and Patricia Fanzino as well. So thank you guys for joining us. Are you ready for the next question?
Okay.
All right. So these kind of go up in temperature, guys. That's kind of like how I do it. So
it's already hot.
Yeah, indeed. Also as well, I just wanted to share a thought that came to me the other day, and I want to introduce the concept, first time you're hearing it here, of what I call MAGA meat. And what do I mean by MAGA meat? I mean, it's like something, like how they would drop poison meat for wolves to eat, but it would sort of infect them and stuff like that. That was an idea that came to me, like particularly with social media. We have to see what's going to happen with the MAGA movement and stuff like that. But I just thought there's certain things that they drop in and it's not quite what it seems, if you know what I mean, in terms of social media and other forms of media. And it just came to me the other day. I wanted to share it. Okay.
I don't want any of that meat.
No, nobody does. So now we're going to go to Scotland. This is quite a quick question here. So wonderful. On the 19th of October, 2023, so a few days ago, Nicola Sturgeon announced of a new date for a potential referendum. So for anyone that doesn't know, 8 years ago, Scotland voted to remain as part of the UK. However, Brexit happened and they didn't vote for Brexit. So now Nicola Sturgeon, who is the Prime Minister of Scotland, wants another referendum. But this would split up the union So my question is, will Scotland vote to leave?
Wow.
So that's probably a totally cold read for you.
Yeah.
Andrea, but you know, you've got the talents, you've got the skills, you can do this.
And I'm Scottish, so I should
Hey.
tap into my ancestors and kin over there. Let's see. Will Scotland leave? EU.
Leave. Scotland.
Okay.
Will Scotland vote to leave? Scotland. All right. What do you have?
I see. So yellow being the solar plexus chakra, what you do, and I get clear. Their decision will be very clear. I believe they want to get out.
Wow.
But they're linked to something greater than they realize, or maybe the average person doesn't realize. But they really want to get away from this chaos, hence voting and in the future setting themselves free. But I think there's something coming that we're not aware of. With this blank card, there's maybe possibly some type of obstacle. So I'd love to know what you got with that. With your
wow.
I think they want to go, but they're linked to something heavier or more bigger than they realize.
Yes, we'll have to see what's the
Hi, Renee.
Daredevil roller coaster. Just you wait for the questions coming up. Like we got some real gunpowder coming. Well, you know what? My cards are very mixed. I've got very mixed cards for Scotland, and I can tell that your cards are quite mixed as well. So I think this energy is not settled in yet. It may have to come see what is closer to the time. Definitely worth revisiting, because this is not something, according to polls, that many Scottish people want yet. But what I've got here, and maybe in some ways this is actually reflecting Nicola Sturgeon. So I've got here the Strength card to symbolize the whole reading, but look, it's reversed. And we know when the card's the right way up, it talks about strength and virtue and stuff like that. But when it's reversed, it can mean giving in to one's baser instincts and passions. And Nicola Sturgeon has been accused by others of being selfish and that this is her passion project and she's just hell-bent on doing it. That's what she's been accused of. And there might be something to it, because the obstacle card here, we get the Four of Pentacles. And it's come in the obstacle position. And we know the Four of Pentacles can be, you know, conservatism, being pragmatic, you know, about one's money and stuff, trying to build something as well. So on one level, she's trying to build, you know, a coalition and a consensus for the Scottish elections. But could it be that she's holding too tight onto a notion of Scottish freedom that she doesn't want to let go?
Stubborn.
Yeah, maybe she's being influenced by her own passions and desires. Perhaps this is what these two cards here would suggest. Also as well, there's more clues, because the next card that comes out is the Six of Cups. And we all know this card is about nostalgia. Yeah, it's about family, togetherness, nostalgia. It's all sweet. But when it's reversed, it can mean not wanting to let go, always wanting to go back to the past in some way. So when we're starting to have a story appear here, isn't it? We've got someone who is very passionate and is maybe given into their emotions, is holding to a notion and a concept because it was only supposed to happen once. And they said you can only have it once. And there's a strong person with a person with a strong sense of nostalgia. But there is a celebration. maybe she does get what she wants. Maybe Scotland does vote to be free, and it could be the women that help her. But look, it could be an overwhelming burden. You know, when we see this card, we know that this is a card of hard graft. And when it's reversed, this can mean you can really feel like giving up. So it could be, is it the case that Scotland votes to leave and then regrets it?
Ooh, because it is very mixed. Both of our cards are very mixed. And there's some type of burden or something obstacle that we're not. Yes. It may be what they think they want, and then they do it. They're like, we can't carry the load.
That's what it looks like to me, because Nicola, based on the cards that I can see that I got, is going to try and sell it in the best way according to her strengths and passions. And because, you know, she talks a lot about sovereignty and, you know, that Four of Pentacles, pulling back and us being independent, having our own money and all of this kind of stuff. But as we know, the world is very volatile right now. Who knows where our economies are going to be in the next couple of years? It could be that she gets her wish, she votes to leave, and then there is no financial support, and that just becomes really difficult. Because I was saying to a friend of mine the other day, and I said, you know, if she thinks that she can sail Scotland to prosperity just by selling, you know, maybe whiskey and salmon and stuff like that, you know, that's hard. I mean, there's great resources, but what are they going to sell? There's a lot of gas, but the economies of the world are now trying to what? Get away from gas, go into renewables. So I don't know.
I think you're right. I think the climate is different right now with everything going on in the world, and it might be better to play a longer game and wait to separate and have England or Britain be that sort of cushion for them for now.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Question that's come in for you as well. Here, Lilac, what do you hear about Judge Roberts stepping down on Thursday? Ooh, that would be interesting.
Is he stepping down?
Not that I'm aware. Because I mean, you're in the States, so I've not heard that.
I'm in Canada.
You're in Canada. I forget.
Yes.
The Canadians have got their ear up against the door, listening to all the fighting going on.
That's right. We can hear them banging below. I don't think he's stepping down. I'm just looking here on the internet. I don't think. There's a rumor. No.
Tarot Love Community is just given a correction. So Ebony R. Breyer, not Roberts. I don't know who that is.
I think he was already meant to step down, and there's already someone replacing him.
Yeah.
Isn't that the lady who's retiring? Yeah.
Right. So there we are. Well, I don't know. I mean, I've got no clue who that person is. I mean, obviously they are stepping down. Maybe we can revisit that towards the end of the show. But obviously, it's not Roberts. And we do have a Ginny question coming up. And for everyone watching, I've also done a Ginny Thomas deep dive. And just to explain to you, Andrea, it's when I do these astrological deep dives into people's charts to find out what their characters are. I've done Thomas, Clarence, just done Ginny, and I'll share it with my membership, and then probably on Saturday I'll share it to the public. So
nice.
But I don't see him going anywhere just quite yet. Not quite yet. Okay. Next question. So now we come to the shores of America. All right. So here we are. So the startling new revelations of how Trump behaved during the insurrection. What's it? Oh my gosh, I can't read my own handwriting. Basically saying Pence deserved to be hung. And did you hear he also tried to grab the wheel at the beast, and he was like, "Sir, take your hands off." And then he grabbed at his throat.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. He's a tantrum boy. And his mother sent him, if I'm not mistaken, Donald Trump Sr.'s mother sent him to military school to get him out of the house because he would have these tantrums.
Wow.
And he threw, remember she said he threw, the girl that testified the other day, she said he threw dishes in the dining room of the White House, which is disrespectful to the White House, quite frankly, I think. And there was ketchup on the wall. And I just laughed to myself because I thought, well, I know it sure as heck wasn't a salad. It wasn't lettuce on the wall. It was ketchup to go with Big Mac and fries.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a man for who culinary sophistication and variety is choosing between, between McDonald's and Burger King. Yeah. He's like, you know what? I'm going to push the boat out tonight. I'm going to have some KFC. Yeah. Come on, Melania. We're going to get a Deliveroo.
Get the Secret Service, get the helicopter. We're all going.
We're all going to KFC to get a mega bucket.
I'm not surprised. I bet there's people who worked on The Apprentice or whatever shows he did in the past that have the same stories, right? Tantrums and but when I heard ketchup, I burst out laughing to myself. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't a salad. Wasn't a health food shake.
Exactly. I mean, if it was a salad, someone would have taken a photograph because they'd be like, something really is going on with the president. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
It's just extraordinary stuff. And we do have, of course, a Cassidy Hutchinson question, of course, coming up. So, what I've got here. So, will these revelations lead to Trump being disqualified from running as a candidate, if not so already, or will he still be allowed to run anyway? I thought I'd ask. I mean, if he's allowed to run, what's the point? It may as well just be declared a banana republic, isn't it? Like, what's the point?
It's just bullying tactics, allowing tantrums, allowing those people to get through with weapons. He knew they had weapons, right?
Yeah. He knew. And if we just think of how extraordinary that is for a sitting US president, not only to be scheming and everything with what he's doing, but being told that the people in his rally are armed and dangerous. And he's like, well, they're not coming to hurt me, and turn off the mags. It means turn off. Saying that to the Secret Service, and it's just astonishing.
If you were watching this in a movie, you'd be like, this would never happen.
Yeah.
And there it is happening.
Yeah. It would be thrown out because people would be like, no president would ever do that.
Wow.
So will these revelations lead to Trump being disqualified from running for the candidacy of president, or will he still be allowed to run anyway? Oh, I tremble. What will the cards say?
And it's a disgrace to the country and the people that live there and the legacy,
Absolutely.
I come from a different planet. I'd say he does. He's way, way off. Okay. Way off.
Wow. That's so perfect for him, isn't it?
Isn't that perfect? Ooh. So he's still, I'm going to flat out say, I think there's some mental illness with him. He still doesn't understand how he lost. We know he's a stark raving narcissist, and narcissists can never do wrong. Narcissists You can't insult them. They don't do anything wrong. So of course he won in his mind, right? People cheated and took it from him. Contemplating on whether to run again. And then I hate to say it.
Oh, no.
In his head, though, right?
In his
But
head.
he's in outer space. I really think he's gone from his head. And the fact that we get the card, I still don't understand. He's gone from his head. So I'm getting his intention is he thinks he still has a chance.
Wow.
In his head. Because he's a ketchup eating, ketchup throwing. Will he be allowed to run? I think they're going to cut the switch on him.
I think they have to.
I think they're going to.
It would just be if he is allowed to run for the presidency, given the revelations that have come out right now, then what is the point? Like, it will just be just like America throwing itself into the lunatic asylum. It would just be political suicide. No one would ever take the country seriously again. I mean, it's wow. But what else did you get?
I think he's going to be stopped. Someone is going to stop him. Something's going to stop him. I also feel that some of those other guys in the party want to be king. So they don't want him to run again because they want to be king. Enough of the shenanigans, right? They want their chance in the spotlight. Why give it to him again? I think that someone putting their hand up, like pick me, like DeSantis or somebody like that. Yeah, the switch is off. I think I think he's out to lunch.
Yeah. I'll share something with you. A while ago, back in 2020, there was a huge lunar eclipse which fell right on top of Donald Trump's moon. And I said back then, and I've got this playlist where I was right about the predictions. But anyway, I said, Trump has lost his mind. I said, something will snap and he's going to be totally cray-cray. And in fact, the word I used was batshit. Yeah, I said from bad to batshit. I said he's going to do outrageous things. And now, of course, like how he's behaving in the car. I mean, grabbing at the steering wheel and then grabbing at that person's throat. This is someone who is...
And saying, I'm the president of the United States. You take me there. Like he really likes the power, right?
Oh,
really.
Absolutely. Like you said,
normal people would be like, "Oh, it's not safe. Okay, thank you for making sure that we're going somewhere safe." You know, but no, he's gonna reach up, take the steering wheel.
Can you imagine if he succeeded? Like turning around.
He's watched too many movies. He thinks he's in a movie.
Yeah,
he's Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator or something.
You're right.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back. You know, you're absolutely right, because he is just, and his chart has got that kind of stuff written all over it. So look at the card that I get for symbolizing for it: ruthless battle. Yeah, it's reverse, so it's even worse. It's even worse. And I think what it is now with these bombshell revelations, there are a lot of people who are asking themselves, was it worth it? Was it worth? We know everything Trump touches turns into dust or is thrown against the wall. You know, that's really how it is with him, or thrown under the bus. So there's a lot of people, I think these are the people around him who are just like, and of course this can talk about the insurrection itself. It can symbolize so many things. It can symbolize his anger, lashing out, but also as well, just the situation. But here he is, Duck L'Orange, as I often refer to him. He's plotting, plotting and planning. The world is watching to a certain extent, but also as well, for me, this also represents the American people. It's not just Trump plotting and planning. I think these are the people that said they wouldn't look, who now are like, let's see what comes in. Let's see what else this committee is going to bring in, because this is also the ships coming in. I think a lot of people have been upset by the recent revelations, even the most hardened. You know, when you see some of these correspondents who are just like their jaws are on the floor, we're not shocked because obviously people like ourselves, the light workers, have been reading on this for ages. But for them to actually hear that testimony, I mean, it almost makes me laugh. Like you said, grabbing at the steering wheel in The Beast. I mean, come on. Like you said, he thinks he's Rambo.
He really does. He thinks he's some kind of hero in a movie. He thinks he's Harrison Ford or Rambo or whoever it is. And I can assure you, you're not.
Exactly. And look at this. The card that comes up here is the Ace of Pentacles. Now, we know that this in general tends to be a very positive card. But it can also talk about as well, about very obviously about finances and all that kind of stuff, which we know, all of the funding and this, that, and the other. But it can also represent fool's gold.
Yes.
And I think there's been a lot of that going around. Upset, emotional upset, feelings of betrayal, and maybe some people being like, oh my goodness, I took in the fool's gold. I think there are a lot of people with egg on their faces right now because, you know, these revelations, and no one's coming out to say she's a liar. No one's really disputing this. So people really have to join the dots. And then we get the Empress card, which can often be, for many readers, this symbolizes America. But for me, this symbolizes Russia. This is my Russia card. So the Russia card coming next to a money card, you know, let's join the dots. I think it's pretty obvious there what's going on. So it could turn out that perhaps there may have been foreign funding. And also as well, when the Empress is reversed, it means barren. You know, she's normally fecundity and stuff like that. But this is a lack of growth, soil, barrenness. Yeah. So very interesting. Anything else you'd like to add to that, Andrea, before we move on to the next one?
No, I think that young lady, I could see her hands when she did the, you know, when you swear in, she was shaking. I was reading her body language and I thought she's pretty nervous, and rightly so. And I think she did a great job. And I bet she has a lot more to say behind the scenes that we may see later.
Indeed. Someone's saying Trump wannabe Arnold. Someone was asking whether or not I had moderators. For some reason, guys, YouTube will not allow me to add them. I have really tried. Yeah,
Really?
I kid you not. I even tried.
I can't do it in StreamYard, but I can do it on the YouTube page.
What can you be a moderator now or something like that? Or
no, I mean, if you want to add people as a moderator, they don't give you that option within StreamYard. You have to go to your YouTube channel to the video, and they won't let you do it.
Nope, I've tried. I even showed video to Diane, Diane's tarot and whatever. She's like, what? I'm just like, yeah, I've been really trying. So I just want to say in the chat, if there's anyone who's a bit snarky or whatever, the best thing to do is ignore them. I've really tried.
Yeah, it was a bit of spam. It was a very rude spam, but not about us or anything. It was just a, you know, come to this site and watch bad things, that kind of thing.
Oh, that kind of thing. Yeah. And sometimes you can't actually do things, even if you're a moderator, you can't, because it's a bot. It's a bot. So, right, let's get to the next question. The chat's going wild here. Let's just see here. What did someone say? Felicia is saying the Donald was in an SUV. That's how he was able to attack his driver. I mean, yeah, it's just like, wow. Okay, so let's have a little look here. So next question, let's actually get on to this very courageous person who's become, and this question has come in from Shanna Day Grant. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong because I wrote it quickly. So she says, I'm so amazed at Cassidy Hutchins, aren't we all? Her bravery and patriotism at the Jan 6th hearing. I will say, can you read on the quality of her future after such a public testimony? I have concerns about her safety. Thanks, Hogarth. So let's read about, fair question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now
they had the security sitting behind her. I think that's the first time a witness that I've seen there have there were 3 or 4 officers sitting behind her, Capitol Police or whoever. Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating because she single-handedly has become one of the most famous women in the world overnight.
Yes. And she was right there when they did the map of the Oval Office and where her office was compared to that. I mean, it was a stone's throw, if not closer. Oh, dear.
Just split the deck. Yeah, she's worried.
Yeah. And she's young, too. What is she, 25 maybe?
25.
Yeah.
How long has she been there already? And
Well,
then Trump.
I'm sorry, but I got to ask, why is a 21-year-old, because she would have been 21 at the time, let's say. Why is a 21-year-old in such a position? Right?
When they said she was 25 and they said, oh, she's been there for years. I'm like, she must have started when she was in her early
right.
20s. You have to graduate first. So that in of itself, I mean, obviously for entertainment purposes only, but in an office, in a male-dominated office, we'll get someone young and sweet and naive.
Right. They can't work with a woman who's over 40. They have to get a girl that's 20. And maybe she's very smart, and I don't know, right? Maybe she was really good for the role, but it just was like, I remember being 21. And if I was working with the president of the United States at 21, I would think, what am I doing here? I'm 21. I'm a goof.
Yeah. Oh, Andrea, I must share with you a dream I had about Trump. I did it in a video about a couple of weeks ago or last week. And I had this dream. It was really random that basically I had this dream that a building that belonged to Trump it was like an earthquake had come. It was literally like a tower moment and it had completely collapsed. And there were 2 women in the dream that I didn't recognize. One I thought was Trump's daughter, not Ivanka, another one. But I'm like, I don't recognize you. Who are you? And she had blonde hair. And she had a friend that was, so her building saw Trump's building collapse. My building was just opposite. And it was like her building was like in the middle. And then there was a friend of hers that got on top of the roof of the building she was in and leapt over to my roof. And I'm like, who is this girl? Now, I didn't mention it at the time in the dream, but this girl had brown hair. I didn't recognize who she was, but it was something that just collapsed. And I thought, is one of his properties going to disappear under the sea? Is there going to be an earthquake for him? Or could this be a metaphorical earthquake? And then when they did the emergency witness thing, I was like, I think that was it.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Wow.
I'll share that. I've literally got a video.
And you wouldn't know who she was. Nobody knew. I've never heard of her before this Gen 6 stuff.
Yeah. I never recognized her. But she had brown hair. Yeah. And then when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, I think that was the girl from the dream. So here we are. What was it? Oh, yeah. So what's her future? What's her future?
And she's very well spoken and composed. She may very well be very smart and bright beyond her years. I'm quite sure she was smarter than me when I was 21. But it's just, and then did you see Hope Hicks's office was even closer to Donald Trump because they did a little map on the screen and it said Hicks. And I'm like, Hope Hicks had her own office like a foot away from the Oval Office. What's that about? Mm-hmm.
Very good question.
Mm-hmm.
Very good question. Yeah.
And they probably want these, like, did they have 21-year-old boys working there? I don't know. Right?
Mm.
It just seems like they wanted a pretty girl, and maybe she's smart.
And it seems she is smart, but like you say, 21. I mean, even to be really young. Even to be 25 to be in that position is still extraordinary, let alone
still very young.
One. So, but she seems bright and capable, and she stepped forward. And now I understand in the dream why the girls were so young. So could it be that there will be another woman that comes forward? Maybe there's someone who's blonde who's also connected that may come forward, or I don't know. But that dream. What do you have? Lilac Lantern. What do you have?
Oh, let's see here. I think she is a girl that does walk in the right steps, walks into the path of the light, so willing to do the right thing. Hermit mode right now, so we know she's got to be protected. So being, in that very cocoon stage right now. Next is the Magician. So that's the power she's wielding. There's more to come. I get haunted by the devil. So at the base, she is haunted. Base of the throw, she is haunted, but I do see her matching up, being taken care of. Things are going to be okay for her, reaching her destiny and doing things from her heart. So I feel she's going to be okay, but this does scare me a bit to see the devil haunting her. We know who that is. And they even showed text people were getting from 45 and Crew's cohort saying, oh, we know you're going to testify. He's watching, or don't worry, don't forget, he reads everything. We know you're going to do the right thing. So that's sort of very sneaky bullying to people. So I'm sure she's getting texts and messages from him and his group, 1,000%.
Wow.
And she's still coming forward. Yeah, witness tampering, exactly, Marianne.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there we are. Just there. Yeah, witness tampering. I mean, we're seeing it all, aren't we? And some of the more mature pundits are being asked, like, what was it like under Nixon? And it's like, nah, this is just...
this is nothing compared to...
just Nixon, the Nixon show, I'm sorry, is just like almost like an old black and white movie where only, where there's one twist in the plot line. And we're like,
isn't that cute? They audio recorded people. Oh, isn't that cute how they did it in the old days? Now this guy's trying to overthrow the whole country.
And tries to, grab his security details throat. And also as well, we need to understand, let alone all the people who are also infected with COVID as well. I mean, like, it's just, this guy is just, he's just outrageous.
Unbelievable. And the president of the United States gets thrown off of Twitter. Think about that.
Yeah.
For the words he's using and what he's inciting. Think about that. The president of the United States thrown off of social media.
I know, it's just astonishing. Yeah, look, somewhere here. So you're saying Nixon is a choir boy compared to this. Yeah, I mean, it's just beyond. It's just what's it called? He makes Nixon look like he didn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, wow. Let's see here. So here, let's just see what this comment here. So Tara Love, agreed, Delilah, but a 25-year-old should have that kind of access and responsibility to top action in our government. I'm going to need them to have real experience first. But you know what? What is amazing is, for her youth and relative inexperience, we need to understand she has been in that role, what would now be, 4 years or something like that? And she has shown more kahunas than all of the men in that institution. And I think for that alone, she needs to be applauded, because to put herself forward for this kind of scrutiny, and she could receive death threats and goodness knows what else. She has a very courageous heart. She has a very courageous, she was with the MAGA crew and all that kind of whatnot, but she stepped up for truth. All right, so what card did I get? So I got the Hierophant. Surprise, surprise, which deals with what? Rules, regulations, traditions. Used to be the Pope back then, but it means what? Government. So we can see Spirit is listening in. The Obstacle card, often the star that is referred to for America, or as representing America, the hope and the renewal. But look, it's the other way around. Feeling abandoned, feeling hopeless. She says she felt crestfallen in regards to when Duck Larange made his declaration about Pence. saying that he basically, you know, deserved it or whatever, she was like, oh my God. And it was also as well a really dark day for America, literally in of itself. What does it pertain to? The, you know, this is the family or the dark family cooperation. But this is the card, as you know, that has got 3 generations of a family on it. So it can talk about big money. It can talk about big organizations, big structures, but this is more of the shadow side. And if we think who was the family that was in the White House, obviously Duck LaRange and all of everybody else. A time of huge emotion, but look, this time the card has turned the right way up. So maybe there are some more positive feelings because the outcome card here is the King of Cups, which is very associated with Biden, or
Yes.
very compassionate man.
Yeah.
So this could be someone who is very compassionate, who comes up and takes a kind of a leadership role, or this could be Biden really kind of putting his weight on the tiller, so to speak, which I would love to see. The American people need as much help as possible. So in terms of her protection, I think there's going to be definitely someone kind looking after her. So I think she will be protected, but we have to see. Anything else you'd like to add to that, Andrea, before we move on to the next one?
No, I think everything what you said, she's very courageous. And let's hope that's Biden who's looking out for her and giving her the Secret Service or the protection that she needs.
She really does. She does need it. She does need it. Okay, now this question's coming from Ruth Goldberg. And in a way, it's a short question, but it's quite packed.
Okay.
So I'll explain the methodologies of the question. Could you take a look at the midterms, especially Val Demings Demings in Florida and John Fetterman in Pennsylvania? Thanks. Now, I don't know, pardon me, who they are, but they're obviously probably Democrat runners. So I was thinking we could pull 3 cards for Val.
Okay.
3 for Fetterman, I hope I've said that right. And then 5 cards for the midterms. I'm going to shuffle between each one and use whatever methodology you want.
Okay.
First one is Val Demings. And we've got over 700 people with us this evening. Can you believe it?
Hi everybody.
That's great for a weekday, so thanks for joining us.
Yes, lots of fun.
And while you're shuffling, I'll post some more comments up as well. What's this? No one complained about her work to be man. She's about the only one who has the integrity to do the right thing. Yes, Mercury Angel, you're right. And yes, here. She's sounded and poised with more maturity than most have in twice the age of 20. Yeah, most of the, yes, absolutely.
It was great. And I couldn't believe she was only 25. I'm like, what?
What? Yeah. Yeah, very brave. International. Thank you. Oops. God, the chat's really moving. You guys are on it. Sunny Intuition is saying that she loves this collab. Yeah, me too.
Me too.
All right. So what do you have then, Andrea, in your deep feminine wisdom about Val Demings?
Well, I see the world is wide open for her. So that's great opportunity. This is something she's been dreaming of. She wants to have more and more. She was even on the list to be vice president. I believe she was on the long list of choice, and he went with Kamala Harris. So this feels like her dreams coming into action, and then we literally have the Chariot. So a world of opportunities opening up for her. Movement. I'd say that looks pretty good.
Does look pretty good. Does look pretty good. It's really interesting. I've pulled 3 cards, and they're all major arcana for her.
Ooh.
Wow. So this is a big deal. So here, look at this. I get the Death card, but as we know, the Death card is about rebirth, essentially rebirth, something old coming to an end. So here there could be something she may be potentially holding on to that she needs to let go of in order to be reborn in a way, because when it's reversed, it can mean we still might be holding on to that thing and maybe it's time to let it go. So there, I don't know anything about her at all. So all I can say is it's just that maybe it's because, maybe she needs to let go of the fact that she wasn't selected, perhaps.
Mhm.
Maybe there could just be a little bit something residual there in the emotions just when I tune in. But look at the next card. We've got the Justice card here, another major arcana. So there's some kind of fair deal potentially ahead of her. But what's amazing, her outcome card is the Emperor, which is all about what stability, power, logic, but also can be, it's the Aries card. So, and Mars has just gone into sidereal Aries at the moment.
Okay.
So the Aries energy is really strong. So what I would say here is that there are opportunities, but she's really prepared to fight in some way. And she wants to bring order, rules, regulation, and stability, because that's what the Emperor talks about. So there we are. Shall we read now on John Fetterman?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna...
Yeah, I like Val's energy. It's good. Okay. Fetterman.
Val is running against Marco Rubio in Florida. Oh, I see. Oh. Okay. Fetterman. What's going on with Fetterman?
Time's out. 2022.
Fetterman.
2.
See if he gets major arcana as well. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Are you ready to go? My cards are a bit...
Well, yeah, my first card out is a revelation, a shocking revelation coming out about him. I don't think it's good. This would be a victorious sort of thing, but it was upside down. And then kind of sleeping. There's the White House, their government. Something's not happening here. There's some kind of I don't even know who this Fetterman is. Fetterman is a Democrat running against Dr. Oz. Which again, TV doctor going to be in the government. And where are we? I don't know.
I know, it's just like, wow. Because and I just want to say to our viewers here, of course, we are just using our gifts just to read the cards. This is a cold read. I literally do not know who this man is, and all I can do is say what I see. But guess what? My cards are similar to yours, Andrea.
Okay.
Similar. To symbolize the reading, look, I get the Knight of Wands reversed. When he's the right way up, this is about what? Quite literally charging forward with passion, isn't it? Passion and desire in your heart. When it's this way, it can mean petulance, but it can also mean quite literally the opposite of moving ahead with passion. If you want to, we can just take it as simple as that. I don't know anything about his personality, but he's being almost kind of stopped maybe in his tracks in some kind of way. The next card I get is Temperance. But look, not only is, if I was doing more cards, this would be the obstacle position, but just Spirit is just making it clear. Look, it's reversed. So when it's the right way up, we know that is about alchemy, good chemistry, balance in all things, and, you know, stuff like that. When it's reversed, it can mean like a lack of chemistry. It's just like, yeah, it just doesn't seem to quite work. And then for my outcome card, look at that. You know, your card was someone laying down sleeping. Look at that.
Same
4 of
thing.
Swords. I get the same thing.
Yeah.
So
it's the 4 swords. This is the 4 swords too.
There it is.
So somebody in the chat just said he's got some health issues and maybe perhaps had a stroke. Maybe we're seeing him needing to rest. Maybe he needs to pull out of the race. Maybe he can't. Maybe he doesn't have the stamina.
Yeah, because this can mean wounded in battle or having a health issue as well.
Yeah.
Because you literally have to what? Lay down and try and rest. And this is the card of taking rest and recuperation after a battle. And, you know, we know there is passion here in his heart, but it's come reversed. It's like it's come to a stop. And then the temperance, the lack, you know, that lack of the chemistry, not being able to, it's like he can't get himself going. Wow. Isn't that fascinating?
It is. We both got the same. Wow. Okay. Well, I certainly hope, I wish him well and his health. Yep.
Yeah. I wish him well, but that's really looking like a health issue, isn't it, Andrea? For us both to get such similar cards.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing synchronicity there. All right, let's look. Oh my gosh, look, the hour's gone already. All right, so let's do the last part.
Oh my goodness.
It's gone in a flash. It's always happened, and the chat is going wild. We can barely even keep up. So this one is about the midterms. Yeah, I'm going to pull 5 cards. You pull as many as you feel you need. And so Ginny Thomas we'll have to do next week, or so you can we'll have to do it next time. So yeah, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Could you take a look at the midterms?
Midterms, okay.
And you may or may not know this, Andrea, but my audience will know this. But guess what? On the day of the midterms, on the 8th of November, 2022, there is a full lunar eclipse right on that day.
Now that adds another layer of excitement to it, doesn't it?
Certainly does. We could be seeing some stuff. We could be seeing some cray-cray about it. I'm just saying.
Wow. Okay.
Split and turn.
Midterms in November
2022,
the United States.
And I just want to say thank you as well for this collaboration. Like, it's been a real pleasure. The hour has just flown by so quick.
It feels like it's been 5 minutes, really. So much fun and great energy in the chat as well. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we love it. Oh, quite interesting. Quite interesting. I wonder what you have. What do you have?
Well, what I see leading up to it is destruction, things blowing apart, and we know who that is for. That is for the Republican Party. Wow, which is really going to slow down their chances at the polls. Let's just put it that way. Trust what's going to happen, that the good guys and the good gals are going to win this. And we have this in blue, as you see. I feel it's blue. I just got goosebumps head to toe. And I just am super excited because I know what this card means. We're going to see so much more before November.
Yeah. Get ready, guys. Entrails are going to be
We're going to hear about more ketchup on the walls. It's going to be a ketchup bath.
Yeah.
Poof.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's going to be a lot. Now, I'm getting goosebumps as well. So here, the first card that comes up to symbolize the midterms, look at this. It's the Fool. But really what this is about a leap of faith. Americans, everyone watching this is a leap of faith. You got to be brave. Yeah. Really just got to be brave. You got to go for it. The obstacle is the spy in the camp, the enemy in the camp, the people that are going to snicker and they're going to do some spread gossip and, you know, dodgy stuff. They're going to try and what? Sabotage. Yeah. They're going to try and sabotage this energetic movement. However, people are going to be working hard. So on one level, the GOP are going to be, again, for entertainment purposes only, are going to be working every hour they can to try and overthrow this. But guess what? So are the voters as well, because they are seeing what is coming down the track. And this overthrow is only one of many. You know, they've already indicated, so people need to graft, work hard, and let rip. They have to overcome the spite and malice that is going to be trying to block them, yeah, as people diligently queue up and do their duty. However, look at the outcome card. Temperance.
Beautiful.
Temperance. Beautiful card. So it looks like after a leap of faith, spies and enemies in the camp, as people work and graft to try and save democracy from vicious and cruel intentions, could it be ultimately that America triumphs? That's all I can say.
And with that Temperance card, it's, to me, it's also saying patient. Just be patient. It's coming, right? The good stuff is coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
really hope so. What an optimistic way to end.
Yes.
What is our first collab. It has been fantastic. Please stay on the line before we go. Thank you everyone for joining us. We pretty much had 750 with us tonight on a weeknight. That is phenomenal, particularly for a first collaboration, because people have to see how that energy is. I've really enjoyed that, Andrea, and it's excellent. Love your cards. There's so much variety in there. We have to do this again.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. The names have gone by so fast, but you know who you are. We read out the names. The chat was just going bonkers. So we really appreciate you joining us. And obviously, we will try and do this again when we talk, backstage. But thanks for the support, everyone. I've put Andrea's details to her channel in the chat. So if you want to subscribe to Andrea, Lilac Lantern, her details are there. And of course, if you've enjoyed this and you're coming from the other side, please like and subscribe as well. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. Ginny Thomas coming soon. Yeah, I'll put the video out soon. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.